Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the press coming to you live from KAFTAN television. This is the session where we have our public affairs analyst who is going to do justice to some of the major interesting headlines. His name is Egnr Toba. Owojaiye. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
How are you? Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Fine. We're in Nigeria. We're trying to make the best of the situation.
Yeah, we have to keep on pushing. Remember, at a point, a number will be displayed on the screen where you can call, and then you make your own inputs on the topic for today. Good morning, sir, once again.
Yes, thank you.
From all the newspapers we have flipped through, we have seen how the presidency has you know, their own take on the former president Obasanjo, telling him he does not have the moral right to criticize the present government, and in fact the previous government that succeeded him. Like, for instance, here this day is saying Presidency Obasanjo not ideal leader to emulate, unfit to speak on good governance. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think we just keep getting it wrong in this country constantly, and that's why we are where we are. For heaven's sake, this is an ex-president. He has been on the seat. He was there as a military head of state. He was also there as the first new democratic president. He did 8 years. His accomplishments in 8 years and his record for 8 years still speak as about the best government Nigeria has had in terms of GDP, in terms of our foreign debts being cancelled. But yet he was someone coming from a military setting. He was the first that we had just had into democracy from 1999. So yes, there are a lot of things he did that looked seemingly like he was running a military administration at his first term. But that doesn't. Yes, some killings that took place leveled some villages, a lot of. But looking back from 1999 to where we are, we can say he did wonders. He did wonders, and he's an elder. I don't expect them to drag him in the public. An elder says what an elder says. If an elder says your Baba go slow, then go fast. It's not. You see, I don't understand why we fight every single thing. If an elder says, if my father tells me you are moving too slow, I would move fast. This is it's not something. You see this, and I sometimes blame the media aides of presidents and governors. They think everything is an attack on their person, or on the person of their candidate, of their president. Not everything is an attack. He has said you are about go slow, means he has not said you are not on the right track. Notice that he didn't say you are not on the right track. He says you are Baba go slow, means you are taking your time and doing things slowly while people are dying. Then act faster. This is not something to fight. I really don't get why we fight over and bicker over every small issue. It took a while to settle both of them. You know, when Obasanjo was president, Tinubu was governor
of Lagos State.
Yes, of Lagos State, and he was denied revenue allocations for almost 8 years. And he survived. And during the political tussle, Obasanjo supported Obi instead of Tinubu, but they were able to reconcile when Tinubu won, and they have managed the relationship well. But you cannot expect an elder not to speak when people are hungry. People are hungry. I don't know how to say it more. People are hungry.
Well, because considering the fact that some of the legacies of the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, like one of the best things he brought is the issue of mobile phones. In fact, that's really changed the narratives of virtually all the sectors in this country. I can imagine life without a phone, what it would have been.
Yeah, you know when people say Obasanjo brought phone, I really don't believe he brought phones. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
Phones were developed in his tenure. That's the difference.
Okay. I mean to Nigeria.
No, in the world, phones were developed as mobile phones during his tenure. Like now, during Buhari's tenure / Tinubu's tenure, AI has been brought on board globally. It's like someone now telling me that Tinubu brought AI. How did Tinubu bring AI? AI is now a global phenomenon and latest technology that has been brought into the world. So we can't say that it is now what Buhari brought. Ask him to define it, if he can define what AI is.
Probably is as a result of he was able to key into.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Immediately.
Once a technology is available, AI is already available in Nigeria. I know young boys who have developed apps in Nigeria because it is a cascade. It's a disruption. It spreads across the whole countries of the world. So Obasanjo
have no choice.
Was just the president at that time when mobile phones spread around the world. Did he aid it to spread faster? I can give him credit for that, yes. But I cannot say Obasanjo brought mobile phones. Sorry, I can't say that.
So, you know, so many papers here. A lot of some are saying during Obasanjo's time, the issue of godfatherism, the issue of we never had a free and fair elections and all that. What's your take on that?
Yes, I don't believe we had free and fair elections then. We just saw the Ondo election. Our results are not getting any better, but our election processes are surely getting better. It's long we had where people were killed on election day, or people stole ballot boxes. And I'm not saying that we are where we are going, but things have begun to change. We can point to some indices that we are making progress. During Obasanjo's time, because it was just a growth from democracy. Remember that Obasanjo was not even the first candidate choice that people had. 1998, people were talking about Alex Ekweme. Yeah. But why was Obasanjo brought on board? I'm just trying to give a bit of context to it. Obasanjo was brought on board because the last time a civilian was given power as interim, Ernest Shonekan, a simple palace coup was made without one bullet shot, and the military led by Abacha was able to offseat him without shooting one bullet. So people said, if we give democracy to a complete civilian, what is the chances that in a few months' time the military won't come back? So that was the narrative that favored Obasanjo to become president. Let's give an ex-military man who is from the south, and then remember that MKO was robbed, his election was annulled. So those two narratives put together, since power was stolen from a southwestern man, let's find another southwestern man to give. Let's find a southwestern man with a military experience who they cannot easily steal the government from. Those were the narratives that favored him. I would say things were crude then. The elections were really crude, very crude. Even Yar'Adua said that the election that produced him was highly flawed and rigged, which was the truth. So those things did not stand. But you see, it's like saying my great-grandfather did not have an iPad. Of course, my great-grandfather did not even have a toothbrush. Okay? So we cannot blame them for having that crude beginning. But what we can blame ourselves for is that 25 years after, we still cannot trust the results of the election. This is not Obasanjo's fault. This is on Tinubu's table, and INEC needs to do their best for people to believe in the results of the election. That is when we see Nigerians come out to vote. This is what we expect from them.
right now, the presidency is stating that Obasanjo is not the best leader to be emulated. Would you say Obasanjo, as our ex-president, has nothing where any of our leaders can emulate from?
No, like I said, we've already trashed this out. I don't believe that statement is true. He's an elder. He has a great place in our history. He was able to steer our ship from a military regime onto a civilian regime. He was able to hand over. We are glad that his third-term agenda didn't work. It will have been a very bad precedent, which is one of the things people have against him, meaning you attempted to become a Biya of Cameroon who will not leave seat. But there are people who also look back at it and say, we have things good during Obasanjo's time. Imagine if he got a third term. Would things have been better? Would we have been able to consolidate on many of the gains we had gotten in his time? We saw more teeth, more bite from EFCC during his time. More ministers were sacked during his time. More people people in public office holders were convicted during his time. Those were things we saw. That were signs that we were headed in the right direction. So anybody coming to say there's nothing we can learn from him, I think should even be sacked or suspended.
Okay, moving forward, let's go to another headline here. Very interesting one. 34 states failed to access 135 billion naira Ibuott grants. What is your take on this? Because from one of the papers, I've seen that we have about 18 million out of school children, and this is an opportunity overlooked. What is your take?
Yeah, I don't know why there's a drawback on this year. 2020, we had 34 states that were able to access the grants. 2021, we had 32 states that were able to access the grant. 2023, we had 25 states that were able to access the grant. So I really don't understand why in 2024 we have only Kaduna and Katsina that have been able to access the grants. This is good money. But I know it comes with a little, there's a matching fund, there's trainings you have to do for the teachers, there's a class and a type of a qualified consultant that you must have as a state to be able to access the grant. So you can't just put, and this is where politicians also get it wrong. You want to put your brother, you want to put your cousin to access the grant. Even work, they have a CV of who can head it. There's an amount of training you must do for teachers, and all of that is what the government, state government has to do first of all. So they will spend a lot. They will spend a lot to access those grants, but it is still worth it at the end of the day because of the monies you will get, because of the students you'll be, the pupils you'll be able to empower. It is still worth it. I really don't know. We have a caller. I think we can take that and then continue.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you are calling from, please.
My name is Ibuott.
Please, can you kindly reduce the volume of your TV set?
Okay, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Very well, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to speak about the Obasanjo issue.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I think the presidency should be humble enough to listen and to entertain the feedback from the public. Obasanjo was the president for 8 years in this country. And he knows better about the system, even than the age of the president. and somebody said a guy that is sitting in Father, how to impregnate movement. It's a book, I'm telling you. So, sorry to use that statement, but if you try to understand what is it called, the opinion of the elders, and ready to listen to the feedback from the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think the caller has just made a point there, considering the fact that the current president has spent, I think, less than 2 years, and
Yes.
this is a man who had served this country for 8 years, and his previous knowledge as a military head of state too boost his leadership history and all that. Okay, so you were saying something before we had that call.
Yes, so the grants is not just you go to the office, sign for it and collect it.
Yes.
There are matching grants. And you see, if you notice, we said 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022. This showed that it was governors that had been on ground, had gotten through with the first grant, had gotten through with the second one, so it was easier for them. The new governors may not have gotten their game going yet. They may not have really known about the grant because governments like grants. Grants is good money. So this means they are slow on the ball. I'm sorry I can't exonerate them. This means they are very slow on the ball. For heaven's sake, for something for basic education that touches the grassroots, that impacts out of school students.
Like 18 million.
This is something that should not even. And I want to commend Kaduna State Governor Obasanjo and the governor in Katsina State for being the two that have led the ranks to be able to access these grants. I would, if you had asked me to guess, I would have guessed Kaduna, but I won't have guessed Katsina. So I want to give the governor his praise, both of them, for what they are able to do. And we call on other governors. Within 3 months, you can get this grant. It's almost the end of the year you can get it. Let's have the call.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Shingwa Andrew from Tarawa State.
How's Taraba today?
Tarawa is fine.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution. Thank you.
Yes, I want to comment firstly on Obasanjo's present regime. Any leader that hasn't respected any advice from Obasanjo, he has no interest of progress of this nation. Because Obasanjo, we understand that during his period there is development, there is progress. Everybody can help Obasanjo during the regime. But this regime see how people are suffering, and the regime cannot understand that people are crying for all problems that we are facing. They are not interest of their citizens. So they make the Nigerian like a talking ground where they can make people to be useless and they don't know whether I feel they should die. Then if we are coming back to education, the regime of Nigeria changed the educational sector where they can invest and support. From 1999 to today, go to primary school and see even the personnel, they are not paying them, no promotion, nothing. They are suffering. Total republic that they are burning. Why they have intention that free education that didn't care about you, the children are roaming all over, and they are insane. What measure has the government do to contain all this menace? So, if government wants to do something tangible, they should create another sector to take care of education from local level to tertiary education, so that they should be taking care of education. But all what they are doing intentionally to siphon the money from there. As I'm telling you, all those are on tip, like the senator, the rep, and the governor. I don't know from the local level. Will you tell me that they don't know what is happening in this country? Or see people are crying. Go to any state and call any teacher and ask them the problem that they are facing. See how they are facing. A person that is on level 12 They are playing in level 3 and they are crying. The government cannot take action. What do you want them to impart knowledge to people? They see how people are roaming, children are roaming, and the material are roaming. When Goodluck Jonathan tried to contend this thing, people from the other one, they didn't support him. They contend the issue. And they are all looking. And they are all there. Whoever goes to the throne, they are on the red or what, the impression that they want to fight these issues. So
thank you very much, sir.
If government wants to do good things, they should do. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Let me also, so let me pick up on what he said. I want to praise the senator in charge of basic education for joining hands with Ibuott to bring this to the fore. Senator Lawal Adamu of Kaduna, and which is one of the reasons why Kaduna is also on that. We have called them, have a consultant on this matter. Let them be on the neck of the states. See, as much as the states are going to benefit, the greatest benefactors of this is Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do we stand to lose?
We stand to lose a lot when we have children out of school. The basic education of a child takes place before he's 8 years old.
Exactly.
So these are the issues that we need to address. So the government needs to have this fixed. They need to have a consultant that they can take around different states, push with different governors, find out what is your hindrance to accessing this grant. Is it the matching fund? Is it the training? For most of them, it is the training. For most of them, it is finding the qualified consultants. I have experience on this field. You need qualified consultants to be able to access this grant.
But when you say the training is some of their fears, is it that the state governments, the state governors cannot afford
what I'm saying is money, it's resources, it's people, it's time, it's structure. There's a syllabus of training that must be done for the teachers as part of the prerequisites to get this grant. There's a consultant that must be on ground with this particular resume for you to be able to access this grant. That training has to be done through all the teachers in the state. When that training is completed and the matching funds is made available, then the grants will come. Like I told you, the past government were able to get almost complete, sometimes 33 states, sometimes 34 states, sometimes the lowest we had was 25 states. But these new governors that have come in have not caught up with the speed of it, and we are saying it's very poor. This is what we're saying.
Let's pick this call.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Florence, calling from Ekaette.
Okay, nice to have you, Florence. How are you today?
People are criticizing, the government is criticizing Obasanjo. Nigeria, they are deceiving themselves. We should call the state a spade. People are suffering, people are dying. The government is not working. And he's saying the truth. If nobody can speak and others speak, people are criticizing him. They don't know where they are taking Nigeria to. Nigeria, they have already, these governments have put Nigeria in the valley. It's only God that will help us. Even if that time was bad, it shouldn't be bad now. So, if Obasanjo criticized, it's not a bad thing. It's for them to change. Now Nigeria is going to one-party system. And we are crying that APC is bad and people are voting APC. Nigeria are deceiving themselves. We are into it together. Even if the person that have rights will not have oil and other things. So, Obasanjo is saying something as our father. He's saying far than we that we are sitting down.
Thank you very much.
And we that are standing up. So Obasanjo did not do anything bad. If for APC to change, APC don't want to change, don't want to listen to any citizen. They are taking their even colonial master They listen to Nigeria. But this very APC doesn't want to anybody to talk to him. Doesn't want critics. He doesn't want to hear us. I rest my case.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you have you before that. Okay, let's pick this call. We've lost that call. Before that call came in, sorry, you did say that before now the previous governors were able to, like some states out of 36 states, sometimes 33 governors were able to 35 were able to access that grant. What do you think they did differently that this present governors should emulate in terms of accessing this grant?
See, once you get the first grant, you know everything that is needed to get the grant. Okay. You know the consultants you need to have, you know the trainings you need to have on ground, you know the staff you need to put in place, you know the matching fund you need to pay for that grant to be released. And once you do it, they will come, they will do their checks, they will come to your state, they will be in your process, and they will do it. So it's, they have, and it goes well for them because it helps them to get staff trained, it helps them to get more funds that they can use for it. So I'm wondering why this new set of governors, is it that the president has given them too much money, that money is looking small to them, then with the number of stress, the trainings, is the money looking like small? Because this present government has put a lot of funds in the hand of governors.
Exactly.
So are governors looking at that fund as, is it worth the stress? Is it worth the effort? Sometimes some states will get 2 billion at the end of it, or 3 billion. Then some states are getting more than 16 billion. So they are wondering, should I go through all that stress? But it's worth it. It's worth it. First of all, for the training, then for the fact that it is
a necessity.
Yes, and for the fact that it is specific to basic education, means you can't use it for something else. So once that fund comes, it goes directly into basic education. I think the governors will be ashamed of themselves and they will act on this.
Hello. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Sir.
Speak up. Thank you.
Your name and where you are calling from. Kindly be a little bit audible. Thank you.
My name is Dixon, calling from Akwa Ibom State.
Okay. How is Akwa Ibom, Dixon?
Fine.
Abadie. Well done, sir.
Okay. What I want to say concerning this matter, the fact is that this current government don't favor Nigeria. And what I will say, this is my turn something, is the one that affects us. Because we need to vote who we like, not is my turn. So this is my turn really affects us a lot. So these people, they are not even ready. They are not ready to change. They are not even ready to pay attention to the Obasanjo, the elderly man in Nigeria. Come rain, comes on, no matter anything. Obasanjo,
and it's a statesman.
So if APT government cannot listen to Obasanjo, so I don't know who else they will listen to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take this too. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
morning,
Your
sir.
name and where you are calling from, please.
How are you, man? Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, sir.
You're good.
This is David, and I'm speaking from Lagos.
Okay. How is Lagos?
Hi,
State?
Lagos.
Bless God, Lagos is fine. Although the heat is somehow extreme, but we thank God all this we can cope.
It's well.
How would we cope? The way we can even cope with the situation of the country. So this one that we now disturb us from coping. I don't think Nigerian thing is too thick for all this. Now, let me quickly say this. I discovered that Nigerian leaders, both past and present, I mean those who are still alive, I found out that they tend to be playing on the intelligence of Nigeria. Let me explain it. If you look at how presidency has been going,
I think there is a forum, but there should be a kind of meeting between present presidents and the past, where they sit down and evaluate the problem of the country.
Talk frankly.
The previous president had been there and could not actually, solve certain issues. He should be able to relate that problem or solve problem in his tenure with the new one, with the current one. And together, they should be able to look at it if it's a general thing. But as it is going, you will discover that it's as though getting to that seat, either there's something there that removes their brain from thinking right or consulting the necessary people. And in order for them, for them to be able to do these things, I don't see it as something as a big deal. Why is it that the solution of Nigerians, that the solution of the problems in Nigeria, does not take a kick in their heart? But when it comes to embezzling money, that is the issue. That is where you see them, going up and down. And the principal fact is that they find it easy to build Nigerians who voted in it suffer. They find they don't see anything big in it. They don't see a problem. And if you look at it very well, you discover that the solution to some of these problems in the Nigerian system, in the Nigerian economy, is not far-fetched. It's not. It's something they can just consult each other. But I think greed, self-centeredness has been the order of the day. And that is what we are suffering from. And until they realize that that place where they call that seat of power is actually meant to take care of the followers under them. I'm sorry, we'll continue to move in that cycle. I pray God will help us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I want to react. I want you to react to what this caller just said. Normally there's supposed to be a forum between the ex-presidents and the present government. That is supposed to be a way, an avenue where they talk frankly to each other, where you had your own mistakes, and then you were able to navigate from that mistakes, then to you were able to chart the way forward. I think with that, such a forum would be of benefit, immense benefit to any incumbent president.
Yes, they have their forums, they have their meetings, but it's not as often as it should be. Yeah. And usually most governments try to run away from, even the ex-presidents run away from trying to speak in such events because they still have media coverage. If you really want to fix this, have those meetings, there should be no media coverage. It's what is discussed there.
Frankly,
yeah, should be frank. Should be frank talks, not anything plastic. They should have a meeting, sit down, ex-presidents, sit down with the presidents and have a frank discussion, very frank discussion, and then come out and we don't even need to know what they discussed and make headway, because once you start telling people on air through public letters what you should be advising them privately, this drama will keep playing out. If whatever you told Tinubu now, you could have told him in a private write-up, you could have told him one-on-one. So politicians like us don't see it as you telling him anything. We see it as you buying public sympathy from the masses, which we have seen online already. Everybody is backing him. So I'm just saying how politicians think.
Yeah.
If you have his number, you know how to call him and tell him anything you want to tell him. You can walk into the villa at any point. So when husband and wife come to the front of the gate and start shouting that they want to advise themselves outside, we know that there's something wrong inside the house.
Exactly. So what's your last advice to governors who have deliberately shied away from accessing this 135 billion UBEC grant?
Yeah, the governor should sit up. I expect, see, everything lies on structure. We don't have administration in Nigeria. We don't have institution in Nigeria. We need to have where there is a SA or somebody in charge of going around these governors. It's not something we should wait for the governors to come. They should be able to probe them, disturb them, send them SMS, call them out like this until all of them pick up that grant and we have good basic education. We leave too many things hanging in this country. So that's my last word for today.
Okay, that is how far we can go for today. We thank you for being a part of the show. We thank the crew members who have been working behind the scene, and then we thank our public affairs analyst in person of Egnr Toba, who is always there for us anytime we call. We really appreciate
Thank you very much.
You for contributing so much towards national development. At this moment, we wish we can continue, but you know, time has never been a friend. So today, as you go along your daily duties, make sure you live peaceful with everybody. Imagine, like we say in KAFTAN television, imagine a beautiful world. My name remains Ekaette Ibuott. Bye for now.